Today's going to be about note-taking and observations. Does anybody know why that's very important in science? Yes. Yes, so you could remember, right? So we're now going to do an experiment called the Oobleck experiment. And this first experiment, we're not going to make observations on paper. We're just going to discuss it. So then in our next experiment, we know what kind of observations and note-taking we would want to write down.
It looks slimy, doesn't it? Does it feel
It's hard.
It's hard. It's kind of like clay.
What do you notice?
It's like when you pick it up like this, it feels like jello.
Is it a liquid or a solid?
It's liquid and solid.
Nice. When does it become a solid? What do you do to it to
When
make
you
it?
pick it up.
Girls at this age kind of have a short listening span, and they tend to be more hands-on activity type of girls. And if you were just to stand up there and give them kind of like a lesson plan and you're always talking, how do you really know that they've gotten what you've said? And so by questioning them, they will be encouraged to participate.
When do you notice it being a solid versus when it's a liquid? When you don't move it, it turns into a liquid, and then when you put pressure to it, it's when it turns into a solid.
Interesting. Do you agree with that, Adriana? Oh, yeah.
One of the things that questioning can do as well is it can really challenge the students to think deeper about the material.
Why does it do this?
Why do you think?
Something with the cornstarch.
We did an experiment this time around about yeast, and we had 3 different jars, and they were to determine whether this was alive. The first jar was only sand and water. The second jar had sand, Alka-Seltzer, and water. And the last jar had sand, water, sugar, and active dry yeast.
So you felt like you've seen something similar to this on the shores in Mexico? Yeah. So what words would you use to describe its characteristics?
You know how when you want to make rice, and they put water in it, like mostly all the dirty stuff on the rice carries up and looks like really dirty.
There's open-ended questions. If you want to have the students synthesize the information and really get a deeper understanding of where their thoughts are on a particular subject, then you would ask some of the why and the how.
Stick together.
So ladies, out of those 3 jars, which jar do you think would have life in it?
Yeah, that one.
Why?
This one looks the clearest, and that one looks all dirty, and that one keeps popping, so if something lives there, they might pop with it.
For the probing questioning technique, one of the best uses is if a student gives you an answer and it's the correct answer, you don't want to just stop there, because you want to be able to challenge each and every student and to really further their thinking to the next level.
Does this one bubble?
That's making me want to start.
No.
It just has like big chunks.
Yeah.
So do you see these little things going up there?
Yeah, they're going up.
So these are a layer of bubbles too, right? Does it bubble as fast as this one?
No. They're both slow.
They're both slow?
No, this one, when they put it in, it went like
Bubble a lot, right?
You could also use probing as just a general feeler for figuring out how much students know already.
Has anybody heard of yeast before? Where is an area in our everyday lives that maybe we've experienced some yeast, that's been a part of yeast?
In bread, there's usually yeast because sometimes we make bread at my house, and you wait, and it starts to get bigger.
Yes, ladies, that is correct. If you make bread, if you make other baked goods, you have to add yeast to make the bread rise and get the characteristics of bread.
I think it's really important to build a strong toolbox of different questioning techniques to establish a safe environment where making mistakes is acceptable and where you have a strong rapport with your students so that you're able to let them know that asking questions and being inquisitive and making mistakes is a perfectly acceptable and normal thing to do.